How does the gut play a role in cancer? So we know that the immune system lives in the gut, right? You know that we've heard that enough, that 80% of your immune system lives in your gut. We know that and it has a lot to do with the microbiome. But recently, I've been thinking about breast cancer because just too many family members and loved ones have been getting diagnosed with breast cancer. And we tend to clump the word cancer as in just like one thing. Like if it's breast cancer, it's just cancer. If it's liver cancer, it's just cancer. But yet they're all so different. And so, and I recognize this because now, I've never had breast cancer, but a family member, too many family members have had breast cancer at this point. And the treatment for one is so different than the other. And I was like, why? How does that work? So I started going down that rabbit hole to try to understand the differences of all these breast cancer. Totally enlightening, has to do with the location. So it could be the milk ducts or the milk glands, nodules or something like that, 2 locations. And in those locations, then they look and they say, did it stay contained or did it burst out? That's the second thing that they're looking at. And then the third thing that they're looking at is how do those cancer cells respond to the different hormones, whether it's estrogen or progesterone or something called HER2, which is a growth, it's like it causes a lot of growth for the cells to continue to grow faster. Is it those, or is it none of those? And then it's called a triple negative. Okay, so going down this rabbit hole about breast cancer to understand it, right? And so, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So how the treatment is, whether it's chemotherapy or how they respond, has to do with that. And then I go, well, wait a second. Why is the body not getting rid of this hormone? Why do we have too much estrogen? Yes, it's because we have a birth control, we have a lot of xenoestrogens in the environment, plastics, all the cleaning products, all those come into our body and they act like an estrogen. So in our body recognizes them, well, actually they attach. Where the receptor site at the cell is for estrogen, those fake or xenoestrogens can now attach and act like an estrogen. Okay, so we have too much estrogen on board. But why isn't the body doing what it's supposed to do? Why isn't the body getting rid of it? So then I'm like, okay, wait. How does the body get rid of this estrogen? Here's what gets really interesting for the gut and hormone balance. When that estrogen has to come out of the body, and because you have too much estrogen on board, and when it needs to be excreted or eliminated from the body, it's excreted and deactivated in the liver. So the estrogen has to go to the liver to be deactivated. And then once it's deactivated in the liver, it goes into the gut via the bile. So it gets absorbed into the bile, or it's part of the bile, goes into the gut in preparation to go out and poop, right? But in the gut, there is this bacteria, this family of bacteria called estrobolome, and its job is to make sure that estrogen stays deactivated, because there are enzymes in your gut that can take that deactivated estrogen and like activate it again, and then it can get back into your bloodstream. So if you have a leaky gut, then that estrogen can like seep through and get back into your bloodstream. If you have an unhealthy microbiome and your gut bacteria is not doing its job, is not healthy, or is weak, or you don't have enough diversity, then those bacteria can't keep that estrogen deactivated, and it can start up again and get back into your bloodstream. So the estrogen that your body has worked so hard to start the elimination process along the way actually can be re-stimulated and go back into your bloodstream and cause problems. And these tissues in the breast in particular, they divide rapidly. They're constantly dividing. Here's what I thought was so crazy, that this cancer is in the milk ducts and the milk glands. And I thought, but a lot of these people who are getting breast cancer, it's like past menopause. Those cells are still dividing. And every time your cell divides, it makes a transcription of the DNA. It like makes a replication to make a new cell, and it replicates and replicates and replicates. And in that transcription, that's where the problem happens. That's where things can go funky and those cells become mutated and become cancer cells. Isn't that crazy? So that was my rabbit hole that I went on yesterday as I was walking and talking to ChatGPT, saying, how does this work? And I got a really good understanding of breast cancer. I wasn't real familiar with breast cancer in particular, but I am now. And what's interesting about this, I am in the middle of writing a book on cancer. It is the book, so I had gastric lymphoma, which was on the outside of my stomach, not on the inside of my stomach. And that matters, actually. It was on the outside, so the survival rate is a lot better. The recovery is a lot better because it's on the outside. Still terrible, but it's on the outside. So I'm writing a book this is the book that I wish I had when I was diagnosed. The shock of the diagnosis is overwhelming, the fear, the paralyzing fear, and then you have to make so many choices. And you have to make these choices fast because they tell you have to make it fast. Well, first of all, the cancer didn't get there overnight. You don't have to make drastic choices like immediately. You have time. You have time to just slow it down, breathe, read a book, which is this book, and this manuscript is going to answer those questions. It speaks to whether it's you or somebody you love or somebody who's going through this experience. It speaks to them right where they're at the fear, at the I don't understand, I don't get it, how did this happen, what do I do now, what are my choices, what's up ahead. That's what was amazing. It's like, why isn't anybody explaining what stage 1 and stage 2 and 3 and 4? We don't know what that means. And in this book, I talk about that. I talk about what kind of diet you should be eating. I talk about the supplements that are okay to take during chemotherapy and not okay to take during the chemotherapy. I talk about what is chemotherapy. And I talk about alternative, holistic health choices, because you have choices. And it's not one or the other. You actually can combine them. And how does that work? We know a lot more today about what it takes to prevent and to heal and to become resilient so it doesn't come back. Because once you have cancer, those stem cells, it's literally impossible to get rid of those stem cells, and that's okay because epigenetics says that we don't have to turn them on anymore. How do you learn how to live in a healthy space so that they don't come back, so that the cancer doesn't come back? That's what I talk about in this book. Now, if you would like to get your hands on the manuscript right now, I haven't published it, and between now and the time I publish it, I am taking anybody's opinion. I'll send you the PDF. You can read the book yourself, and if you do, all I ask is that you give me your feedback. Give me some suggestions on the title, and is it too sciencey? Is it not enough story? What am I missing? And I would love your feedback on this book. And if you think it's perfect the way it is, I like that too, because feedback isn't always easy to take, but I think it'll help a lot of people. And I think this is the manuscript that a lot of people need, and they need it now, which is why if you are struggling with something right now, send me a message, put a message in the comments, and I will send you the PDF of this book. And you can help me before we publish it. So yeah, I'm very excited to get this book out because I can't stand the fact that people are suffering, and I can't stand the fact that the information isn't out there. I want to meet you or meet them, your loved one, where they're at right now. So if you want that book, put a message in the comments and I will personally send you the PDF. There's no ManyChap or auto whatever. I will personally send you this PDF and I would love your feedback. Okay, so here we go. Oh, so there we go. Today is the gut. I always talk about the gut on Monday. And yeah, this is Spa Life TV, where we are going to go on this health journey together because ultimately we must become resilient in this health and wellness space. This $6.8 trillion industry, this space of wellness. What does it mean? That's what we do here on Spa Life TV. And how can you navigate this world? So I'm excited for you to get this book if you want to get it. And I'm excited for you to be here and participating in these conversations that we have. Ideally every day. I try to get them every day, but we shall see. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.